Get ready with me for taking my shahada. Feel definitely a bit nervous today, and I was just deeping the fact that if I told myself that I was going to be doing this today a year ago, I probably would have fallen off my chair. Islam really only came into my life about 8 months ago when I started working and volunteering with a charity where I was meeting a lot of Muslims. This is what initially really sparked my interest in learning about the religion and what it was all about. I started to really learn the reasoning behind things that I'd seen on the periphery, so Ramadan, why Muslims fasted, modesty, and ultimately their values and beliefs at the core. It was during this time that I also started watching a lot of female Muslim content creators, which completely shifted my whole perception of women within Islam. So watching other girls that had reverted and were documenting their story was so inspiring to me. And the more and more I was learning, I saw that I was getting more and more curious. I think that what was really holding me back though, and I'm sure it's what holds a lot of reverts back, was the fear ultimately of judgment from peers and family. For a long time I'd suffered a lot with real depression and anxiety, and I found myself, despite having a really busy life, working a full-time job, running 2 businesses, finding real sanctity and peace in those times where I would just take out and learn and read the Qur'an and learn about Islam. It was at this point that I really felt like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had led me to this path, and my fear of judgment kind of just melted away because I really knew that the only one that could judge me ultimately was and is God. I just finished getting ready off camera because I realised I'm really far behind. So today is going to mark a massive shift in my life, and there's so much I need to learn, so much I need to find out, but I'm really just going to take it one step at a time because this is a journey. Come with me to take my shahada. I was travelling into London on the train because I was going to the West London Islamic Centre in Ealing, which, can I just say, is so beautiful. I know it was recently renovated, but it looks amazing inside. When we arrived, we just went into a room with the imam and did a short shahada ceremony. Afterwards, I went outside and was feeling so overwhelmed with emotion, but also so blessed and at peace with this new chapter in my life. But yeah, a lot of feels, as you can see. After, we just went to go grab something to eat, and then I headed back home on the train. On the train, I was reading one of the books which the imam gave me. He was so lovely and gave me a bunch of resources, including books and a prayer mat, and I felt so absolutely welcome. It's actually crazy how in Western culture it's almost pushed on girls that in order to be pretty they have to dress immodestly. And speaking from my own experience, I remember when I was like 17, 18, it was basically the rhetoric that the more flesh was on show, the better you looked. It actually makes me so sad to think about it because for the last year I've been trying to dress more modestly, and I can tell you that I've never felt more beautiful or confident within myself. I suffered for so long with confidence about my appearance, how I looked, and it was all because of that idea that my body was what made me attractive. It's also funny how Western cultures really push this idea that modest dressing is somehow a form of oppression. It's so messed up. You converted to Islam for a man. Whenever I see that a woman has converted to Islam, I will always see this comment. And I have a serious problem with this for 2 main reasons. 1, can we ladies not make decisions for ourselves? Last time I checked, we had the same brains, same minds as men, and funnily enough, changing your religion and giving up things you previously did, completely potentially alienating your friends and family, is not a decision you would really take lightly and just for someone else. Following Islam is also not the easiest thing to do, and the last time I checked, someone wasn't about to wake up to pray 5 times a day for a man. I mean, if we apply that analogy, if your husband is getting on your nerves or refuses to take out the bins, are you going to turn around to him and just say, "Oh, sorry babe, I'm not a Muslim today"? Secondly, this comment completely describes discredits the power of Islam. In the Quran, it says that you cannot force anyone to become Muslim. You can just make something called dawah. In my opinion, the best dawah is your character, your inner peace, and your discipline. If the people making this comment actually spend time with Muslim people and learn about the religion, maybe they would understand why people are reverting. And who knows, maybe they would too. There is a reason why it's the fastest growing religion. Alhamdulillah. I know I'm not looking my best right now. I didn't tell anyone in my life when I took my shahada. I didn't want to tell anyone at the time because I felt like I was finding my faith for myself and working out what this actually meant for me. It was inevitable that people were going to come across my videos, and I know some friends already had. It was almost like I was in my happy bubble and I was delaying the inevitable by not telling anyone. I just had a conversation with my mum and she had been shown my videos by someone else, and obviously that was a complete shock to her. I am so blessed to come from a super open-minded family. My parents are the type of people who would accept and love anyone, and I just feel heartbroken that I didn't have the confidence to tell them where I was at or what was going on in my life. It really breaks my heart because I live just with my mum. We have a super close relationship. And I feel so bad from hiding such a big part of my life. I was just so scared of the reaction and if it would change things. Secrecy can honestly destroy you, and I have pushed away so many people that love and care about me. I know this is a test and I'm gonna get through it, but right now I'm just wishing that I could have been honest and truly myself. Get ready with me whilst I talk about losing friendships as a new revert and how I feel totally fine about it. When you make big changes in your life, not everyone always is going to support it. It was in September last year when I first started to learn about Islam. And one of the first things I did was completely cut out drinking. Unfortunately, in Western culture, drinking forms such a major part of so many people's friendship, and you will be surprised at how many people distance themselves from you from this decision alone. When I was learning more and more about Islam, it strengthened core values I already had. At the time, I had a lot of people around me who would speak negatively about other people and who were not grateful for the blessings which they had and would complain all the time, which was ultimately just taking me away from the person I was trying to now be. I was listening to a podcast the other day, I think it was by Mufti Menk, and he spoke about this really interesting analogy. Putting onto things which are not serving you is like keeping your hand closed with a bunch of gold coins inside. If you let your hand open and let those coins go, you will open your way to so much more abundance from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Since letting go, I've had so many amazing blessings enter into my life.